In this video, I'm talking about how to prep the exterior of your car for a long, hard winter, as well as how I prep for a ceramic coating. So let me go ahead and show you guys what products and tools I'm going to be using behind me in this video. So obviously I'm going to have my 5-gallon bucket full of clean water and a grit guard to rinse off my mitt. I've got a foam cannon soap, a clay bar, iron remover. I've got a wool wash mitt. I've got a little bit of super clean degreaser and some microfiber towels just for different areas, drying and cleaning and all that sort of stuff. So step number 1 here is going to be actually cleaning the wheel wells, the wheels, and the tires. I'm using just a simple degreaser here. I like to use degreaser full strength. Scrubbing the tire once and then washing it off. With the wheel wells, I'm just letting the degreaser sit, and then my pressure washer comes with enough force to kind of clean off any of those, that stuff that's in wheel wells generally. I don't have to scrub it really. I can just let that degreaser sit and pressure wash it off. I'm using Meguiar's wheel brightener diluted 5:1 and a Speedmaster brush, and being super detailed about cleaning the interior of this wheel and then pressure washing it off. And something that I do want to note is as I'm using the pressure washer, I actually am holding it pretty close to the wheel. You can inspect the wheel before you do this because you don't want any chips to be in the wheel. You might strip it more with a pressure washer, but I'm actually bringing you guys in with a close-up because I spent a lot of time detailing these wheels because, again, this is a pre-winter preparation and a pre-ceramic preparation, and so I want to make sure that I am like really stripping this down to the bare bones. So that's why I'm being so detailed and spending so much time making sure all that brake dust is taken care of. Then again, I take my pressure washer and I'm holding it really close like you guys can see, but again, I inspected these wheels beforehand and I'm not going to hurt anything by doing this. Wouldn't do that with the paint, but you can do it with the wheel with this metal. Now I'm going to be doing the face of the wheel, and I'm taking my detail brush and I'm making sure I get those lug nut areas clean. Again, this acidic cleaner is what I prefer because it just strips that brake dust really easily and it makes my life really easy. But you can see how much time I'm spending on this because this is a video that's sped up and it's still kind of taking a long time, and that's kind of the point. Is, again, this is like the pre-wash detail before winter. So after that, I'm going to fill up my foam cannon with water, and then I'm going to be using a soap from AM Details. I like it a lot. It sits really flat on the paint. I use about 3 to 4 ounces, and then I'm going to take my degreaser and I'm going to pour another like 3 to 4 ounces in there. Point is, I'm stripping the paint, and so I'm just splashing a little degreaser to make the cleaner a bit more effective, a bit stronger, and again, it strips things pretty easily. So first, I'm just going to wash the paint with some water, get it a little lubricated, and then anything that is kind of sitting on there easily removed will be thrown off and blown off with the pressure washer. And then I just attach my foam cannon and I start going at it, and I foam the whole car. This is the first pre-rinse method, so I'm not doing anything but foaming it and then rinsing it off. After I foam it, I'm going to let the foam sit there for just a bit, let it drip, and then I'm going to spray it off with my hose with just some bare water. Now, you can see the soap works really well. This has kind of become my favorite foam soap because it lasts so long on the paint. It doesn't just all fall off like a lot of these kind of lesser expensive soaps do, and it sits really flat on the paint, and it doesn't separate. So if you used a lot of foam soaps, you might be able to kind of tell what I'm talking about. When it sits flat, it doesn't fall off in clumps, and so that's something that I'm kind of looking for in a foam soap, and this one just does that really well. So you can see how sudsy that is and how foamy that is, and again, it's not separating, it's been sitting there, it stays together, it's sticking together. Then I'm going to take my new wash mitt, and it's just a synthetic wool wash mitt. It actually kind of sheds a lot. It wouldn't be my first pick, but I was just kind of trying it out here. Now, as I wash the car, I'm flipping my mitt as needed, and then I'm going to wash it off with the grit guard and that clean water. So this is kind of like my new and improved 2-bucket wash method. Rather than taking the time to do 2 buckets, I actually would rather just take my foam cannon and spray a bunch of that clean soap onto the paint rather than having to go back in my bucket. It gives me an easy way to put clean soap on the paint. I'm not dipping my sponge or my wash mitt back into a soapy solution and ultimately, dirtying it up again, no matter how many buckets you use. So not only are you getting clean soap every time, but it's also really quick. It's easy to apply it. Now, next I'm going to use my clay bar, and I know what you guys are going to think when I do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. I am using the water itself as the clay lubricant. A lot of guys would be really against doing this, and I totally get it, but I am going to be polishing this car really quickly after all of this, and so people are like, don't do that, you're going to abrade the paint. Well, I think the jury's still out on that, but I'm not drying it off. I'm just using the water to clay bar the paint before I use my Iron X. This is an Iron X, or an iron remover from a company called Renegade. I've been using it for about a year and really like it, but still smells just as bad as any other iron remover, I can assure you, but it works really well. So again, I'm not drying it off in between all of this stuff, so the water's already there. I want to apply the iron remover as much as I can. Then I take a wet, kind of damp microfiber towel, and I just kind of work the iron remover in. I let it sit for about 3 minutes, then I work it in, then I let it sit for another like 2 minutes, and then I just wash it off. And even though it looks like I did this really quickly, I spent a lot of time washing it off. You want to make sure you really wash it well. Then I took a drying towel, dried it off, and now I'm taking my leaf blower, and I'm just getting all the cracks and crevices before I go on to the next thing, which is stripping the paint. I'm using a paint stripper here from a company called Americana Global. I'm just spraying it kind of conservatively on the paint and then working it in with my microfiber and then buffing it off. I'm using it on the windows, the plastics, and the paint itself, and that's it. All right, guys, so the paint has been pre-washed. It's been washed. It's been clayed. It's been decontaminated chemically with an iron remover, and it has been stripped. So I just wanted to give you guys a little summary of the products that I used here so that in case you were wondering and you want to get your hands on it, or you're just wondering about my process and specifically what I'm using, this is it. Number one, I use the Trinova foam cannon. It's a pretty inexpensive foam cannon. It's a pretty generic one on Amazon. I use the AM Details foam soap. This is quickly becoming my favorite foam soap because it lays so flat on the paint and cleans really well. I splashed some super clean degreaser into the foam soap to strip it at whatever level that would do it, because I'm gonna polish it and ceramic coat it. I used an AM Details clay bar. Really not important what clay bar you use. It's like whatever floats your boat. Then I used an iron remover that's in my cabinet. Hold on. This is an iron remover from a company called Renegade. Super powerful iron remover called Voodoo X iron remover. I like it a lot. I've used it for probably the last year. Still smells just as bad as every other iron remover I've ever used, so you probably want to wear a mask. And then I used a paint stripper from a company called Americana Global. It's just in a generic bottle, but it is called Stripper, believe it or not. And not the kind of stripper that comes to mind, by the way, when I say that word. So, give you guys a quick look at the Mini Cooper, at least on this one side. Looks super good. Super shiny. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, and if you love everything auto detailing like I do, then what are you doing, man? Subscribe to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. And if you want to get your hands on any of the products that I used in this video, I'm gonna hook up links to every one of these products below. If you use my links, it does give this channel a small commission, but helps me keep doing what I do. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.